after the last couple endeavors with the tractor that I need a little bit more ballast in the back of the tractor when I'm not running the backhoe, or even if I am running the backhoe. Extra ballast is not a bad thing. So I went over to the Kubota dealer and I said, how much to put ballast in the rear wheels? He said, well, we just put water in there, and it's an hour labor, so it was like $110 to put water in there. And I'm like, this really can't be that hard. And so I went, of course, online. YouTube is your friend. So there's a hose adapter, fits to the tire valve stem, and you just hook it up to a garden hose and fill the tire yourself. So this was, I think, 15 bucks or so. So I'll do that instead of spending 110. Plus, I don't have to load the tractor up on the trailer and haul it all the way to St. Cloud to get that work done. So trying to be as self-sufficient out here as I can, learning as I go. So I've never had a vehicle that I could put ballast in the rear wheels, other than I had a Cub Cadet tractor back in Iowa when we were living out there. But I think they just did it for nothing when we'd gotten the tractor. So times have changed. But anyway, so I'm going to get to putting water in the back tires and see how that goes. All right, so I got the tractor jacked up so that I'm removing pressure from that. That way I don't lose the bead. So I got that off. I have my adapter, and I just got to get the valve core out of there and get this thing going. All right, so we got her hooked up, water flowing. I can hear it going. Guys are saying it takes like a while. I don't know, these are pretty small tires. We'll see. So it's making funny noises, but I haven't seen anybody really specify how full to make them. I really don't think I want them pressurized with water. So the rim, keeping this at the top, we're going to let it drain out to here. So I'll have this much air, above that, and the rest water. So they still get a little bit of bounce and resilience, suspension, if you will. There's no suspension on these tractors, so if I made them hard, that wouldn't be a nice ride. But yeah, somewhere right around in there we think should be good. And I'll just cap it off with the valve core. So now the trick is going to be getting it down and getting air up to the right pressure. That's a little wobbly, so we'll see what happens. I don't think my air line's going to reach all the way out here, but I can give it a shot. Now let me tell you, I don't always have a plan for what I'm doing. I got a bunch of projects in my head. And I start doing them and I forget, oh yeah, maybe I should film that. But got the ballast in the tires. Actually tried out moving a couple of the pallets over there of stone. I thought, well, while I'm moving that pallet of stone, maybe I should think about finding a place to sit and relax while AT&T fixes my fiber. Our internet's down again. I don't know. They haven't been able to figure this thing out. So I came out here and I had the box blade on. So I thought, well, maybe let me see how tough it'd be to drag the area where I want to put some of that stone for a while, how that goes. And then I'm like, maybe I should record this. So here's what I got going so far. So I did one pass already with the BX. So I pulled a bunch down here. I'm going to do another pass, see if I can get a lot of these weeds out, and then see what it would take to just kind of set a small patio here, get a table and chairs. Just goofing around with it. Nothing, I don't think it's going to be permanent, because I don't think this this color of stone is going to work right here, but it's what I have, and it's what we can do to do tests. I like testing out some atmosphere and some things. Sometimes, like if we set this up and we go, man, it's always just way too sunny or too hot out here, I'm not going to spend the time to build a patio out here. So I'll kind of preview some things, if you will, as I go through things. But let's see if I can get a shot of me dragging some of this stuff out and go from there. There you go, just that quick. And AT&T's back. So we'll see what they can get done here. But yeah, as this progresses, I gotta go get the bucket, clear out the dirt pile that I made here, clear all that out, and maybe see what AT&T's got to say. Well, it looks like the camera overheated a little bit, but I got used the bucket to kind of back drag some of this area. It's mostly close, but AT&T just left. They said, yeah, there's an outage in your area, so they couldn't fix anything. They couldn't give me an estimate on when it was going to be back. So I guess I got to figure out a new plan for working today. But anyway, that's kind of part of the story out here in the rural Florida. All right, today I'm all over the place with projects. So this is the network rack. It is going to get mounted up on the wall above the power panel. So this will be fun. There's a strip that locks into the back of this. It's about 14 inches from the bottom to the front of that hole where the bracket goes. So where it's going to end up living is up there above the power panel. Get it up and out of the way. So I actually I drilled one hole. You can see it right, if I get my finger in there, right there. So that's the first hole. And what I did is I'm going to try this new deal with riv nuts. You notice the electrician, when he did this, he just did a sheet metal self-tapping screw. But what I want to use are these riv nuts. So I went and got can't get it to focus. There, okay. So these riv nuts, and I don't know if I'm going to use these square heads or not. I've got to find something. It was just something so I knew what thread size it was. And then I've got a riv net setter. But now, actually come to find out that you don't really need a riv net setter. You can hang these things just by tightening a nut on or a bolt on them. Just push them in and crank it in with an impact gun or something. That'll work. But I'm set up now so I can get these riv nuts in. Then the plan is to put some strut. So I've got the strut, and then what I'll do is I'll attach this. This is that bracket that the network rack hangs on. So I need about, well, some distance between those and to get around the conduits that are there. And then it's just going to rest leaning against that conduit up there. But I'll kind of show you what I get once I get the other riv nut. It's hard for me to balance everything up there on the ladder, so I'll show you after I get the other riv nut drilled, set, and then I'll get this strut up there. So one of the things to keep in mind when you're working with this kind of track is, one, I need a washer to go on this nut because the nut will in fact slide right through there. So you need to find a washer that goes through the track. Now this one will go, just needs a little finessing, so that'll fit in there. The other thing to keep in mind if you're going to use a bolt is the socket. So the socket I can't really tip around and get it in there, but this socket just barely fits in there. So I can use, this is about the largest socket. This is a 16 millimeter socket. Now the trick also on this, since I'm using a square nut, is I have to use a 12-point socket. So with a 12-point socket, I should be able to get in there. Actually, that's It's a little loose on a 15. I'll have to see if I can get a 14 or that 16. If I can get a 15 or 14, that'll work. But anyway, I'm going to get this cut right on that line, and then I'm going to throw that up on the wall. All right, so for my square bolt, I actually went and grabbed a 15, and it fits in there nice and snug, and it fits into the track much more easily. I got a little bit of play, so that'll work better. All right, so let's get this strut cut. I've got a handy dandy band saw. So we're going to go ahead and we'll rip through this guy. Yeah, that's one of the things I think I need a new blade. Because this guy does not like to stay engaged. Either that or I like to just push a little bit too hard. Let me reset that. All right, let's try it again. See if I can go a little slower. That should do it. Patience. All right, I'll take this over and get it mounted up on the wall. All right, let's give this a shot. Going up. Try not to get entangled and everything. Thread it in. This side good. This side. Solid. That will hold just about anything. Right, now I need to put another spacer here and a spacer here. Then I can mount the rack up on there. If I can get around on the table and not rip them out of the wall. All right. Beautiful. So in Florida, how would you know it's going to rain? Well, the sky doesn't quite look like that. It looks more like that. So I'm over here at Lowe's getting some bolts to hang that network rack. But it's going to start raining soon. In case you're wondering why I jump around on projects sometimes, it's because I'm working outside and it either gets too hot or it starts raining. That's why I kind of gave up on doing the tile patio pavers out front and switched to doing stuff inside. You got to be flexible. All right, so we got the rack up on the wall. Started pulling some wire through it. It was a bit of a juggling act, but I got it up there, and it is secured. So now I can start putting my power distribution, my switch, and then punch down those wires over here on the left that are just kind of dangling. And the ones on the right, they're in the correct place. So I'll punch them in like 1 through 6. I think that's what we have. And then those will be my feeds from the house to here. Those have a UPS. So any of the things coming out of the switch in the house will always be power. Well, they got about an hour, half an hour-ish if we lose power. that things will still work. The key for that is that keeps Wi-Fi and the network pieces up and running in case we lose power briefly. And so those are on PoE, so power over Ethernet. And then I have a switch which will also be power over Ethernet, but at the moment it's not going to be on a UPS, no battery backup for it. So I've got the Wi-Fi access points up in the ceiling on those feeds, so they're always on. And actually, so my network runs straight back. There's not an extra hop in here. But as I start running other things in here, like if I want to plug the PC in instead of running it on Wi-Fi, or some other things, those I could either run directly to the switch in the house and patch it that way, or I can run it through the switch here in the shop. We got options. So this is the PDU. It's got outlets on, really focusing, outlets on that side, and it's also got outlets on this other side, and some little fancy monitoring things and whatnot, but we probably won't use most of that. We're just going to use it straight up in there for a PDU. Well, it's another day, and I'm going to see how much stuff I can get done. Got the workout done, got my workout hair on. Going to try and get the network rack finished up today. Finished tearing apart the desk, maybe. That desk with the long drawers in it, or flat drawers for drawings. See how far I can get on making the patio out in front of the house in the entryway. Maybe get some Adirondack chairs built. Move this table here is supposed to go out on that front porch too. So, and replace a solar panel on a camera. We'll see how far this day goes. All right, so there's my job for this morning. Gonna see if I can level this out. It's mostly there. I just got to get the edge along the walkway a little more even and sloped. And yeah, those are my tools. It'll be fun. And then I'm gonna just lay out those tiles. It's the way I look at it is I'm storing them over there. It might be a while before I get around to officially getting this thing done. So instead of storing them there in an ugly pile, I'll store them here in a single layer pile. Yeah, that's it. All right, so I got it mostly cleared, mostly flat, and then we've got the red and white pavers stacked up here. So I'm just going to kind of set them out there as best we can. I'm not looking for perfection for this run through. I'm just looking to see if this is a practical place that we want to make a patio, and if the weather and the sun and bugs and whatnot are conducive to that, then we'll make this more of a permanent patio. I eventually want to redo all of this walkway. I'm not fond of the Mexican pavers. They're really slippery, and the whole thing's buckled. So at some point, all of this has got to come out. I didn't pack this. I drove over it a little bit with the tractor, stomped on it with my boots. But I think for this purpose, it'll be just fine. If you don't think so, comment. Let me know. How would you have done it? Well, so far, so good. Color actually fits in okay. So, haven't made too far through these pallets. But just trying to get an idea how it's going to look. It's a little lumpy, but that's okay for this test. I'll tell you, this getting old isn't for the faint of heart. I get worn out pretty quick. Of course, doing the gym first thing in the morning maybe got me energized, maybe half wore me out. I don't know. But I'm going to take a little break and come back to this here in a little bit after I take care of the cat. What you doing, big boy? Hey, Thor. So I cleaned out your water dish. Does that mean you're ready to go in the house? Yeah? You ready? Well, you're headed that way. Shall we go? Okay. So I will say I've been playing around with hats. This is one of those vent hats or mesh hats or whatever you want to call it, trucker snapbacks. It worked really well in me not sweating through it. I know, kind of gross, but I've always liked the look of the all cloth caps, but I'm realizing that they're not such a good idea as work hats. But anyway, took a little bit of a break. I'm going to get back at this and see if I can get some more of this patio laid out, and hopefully we'll get it done. It's been a great day. It's a little sunny today, cloudy, I should say. There's a little bit of sun, but not a lot. It's been about 83, I think, outside instead of 95 or 100. So it's actually a good day for me to be getting out here and doing this. Well, I went to take a short break, try and recoup from schlepping tiles and such. And the rain came up. So we may switch projects and work on some indoor shop stuff here for a little bit. Got most of it done. Have just, well, half a pallet of white, half a pallet of red. Made it most of the way up in there. They're a little tippy. They're not most solid. It's a little wavy. But I think it looks neater stored here than it did stored over there. And we can maybe make some use of this. But I'm going to put the tractor up so that it doesn't get soaked. Okay, I think I've run out of steam for the day. It's early afternoon, but I think that's as far as we'll go for now. We're going to decide if we want to bring another row towards me or another row towards the house. Sort that out. But that's just kind of the gist of it. Should work out pretty well. I got the Adirondack chairs that I need to build and then put them around there. If I feel more ambitious a little bit later, I'll get to those. But as of right now, that's the idea. We'll have a chair or a table and then the Adirondack chairs. We can sit here and watch the deer, who amazingly are not afraid of the tractor but are afraid of me. Even if I'm driving the tractor, they're fine with the tractor. Anyway, I got a little bit junk to clean up. A couple of piles here and there. And all of my tiles moved. So Micah would not be proud of me, but I'm thinking that they're going to settle in just fine. Alright, well there it is with the table and an Adirondack chair. I don't know how well the chairs are going to work out with that table, but I like the chair and I like the table both. They're both like the plastic wood, so they should do well out here. But anyway, there it is in its mostly completed form. I just got 3 more chairs to do and we'll see how those go. I think a bearing's starting to go out on this. Not sure though. Maybe that's just a normal sound. Pretty sure there's not supposed to be that kind of corrosion down there. But, yeah. Might be bad. Well, I'm sitting out here on the new front patio. And I wanted to let you know I've been going through this thing about boots. And, kind of bummed. I got a pair of boots from Disney. Cast Connection property control thing where they're getting rid of all the junk they don't use anymore. So I found a pair of official Muck Boot Company boots, and I was all excited, and I had tried them on, and I tried my right foot on when I was there, and I figured, oh, I'll just grab the matching set and we'll be good. And I got home, and of course whenever I get anything from them, it's not like there's a return or an exchange or anything else. It's what you get is what you get, and when you walk out, that's the end of it. So unfortunately, that was the end of it. I couldn't use the boots. The right boot fit, it was what they called a 9.5, but the left was a 9. I know I'm rambling on so far. Get on with it. Okay, so here's the deal. Those are the Muck boots I got from Disney, and just so you know, yeah, $7 for the pair, and they didn't work. And I thought, well, oh well, I'll just toss them, whatever. Move on with it. But then I realized that my cowboy boots, I am destroying these things as I walk in the grass. It's always wet out here, and so the front of these is just, they're getting ruined by the water. And what I decided was, okay, fine. I'm going to go get me and buy an official pair new that fit. And what's funny is, see if I can get things arranged here. I'll slide those out of the way and bring in the big guns. All right, so those, if you can tell, they're actually taller than my other boots. But with as much stuff as I do out here when it's wet, I thought, fine. And there was a decent deal on these. These are also steel-toed. My cowboy boots are steel-toed, so that was a bonus, but they're much taller. But I tested them out today. They fit. They're a size 9, which is weird. They're actually looser than the 9.5 that were these other boots. I don't know how old those are, but anyway, that's my story. Wondered what you guys think about muck boots, or they're basically a rubber type boot, but I'm gonna start using those as I get out. Those are the Chore Met Guard. They're not a sponsor. Nobody sponsors me. Nobody. Yeah. Anyway, but I'm gonna get with those. Let me know if you guys have used these kind of boots, or what you guys use in the wet environment, farm, ranch, what have you. Anyway, by the way, as I was coming out here, I was thinking to myself, I should let you know. I'm making a mental note for myself to not try and put my cowboy boots on while sitting in an Adirondack chair. If you've never tried it, give it a go. See how well it goes for you. For me, it went very poorly. I couldn't get situated where I could get leverage. Anyway, sit in a regular chair. I think I'm about ready to call it a weekend. I got quite a bit done. As usual, I'm always jumping around doing things, but like I said, it's usually the weather that causes me to work inside or outside. I need to show you the network rack that I finished that up, and then I will close this one out, I think. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you get a chance, and yeah, be awesome. All right, so there it is. I have the first set of ports, about 6, that are wired over to the house. I have a switch here, which I can now use to extend things. I got 24 ports here I can use. And we also have the power supply with our fancy Lutron, and let's see if I can get up there. Up top is the Hue bridge, or repeater, I guess they call it. So that's what we're using to make sure we get all the good signals for the home automation out here into the shop. I need to find the ears for this. They went missing, so it's just kind of loosely sitting on a shelf there. But yeah, so that came along well. Get that door closed. There you have it.